Chapter 13. The game that breaks you. The air is heavy now, so heavy it feels like it could crush you. Yuuichi's smirk still lingers in everyone's mind, echoing in their heads like a voice they can't silence. The last round of the Friendship Guild trip game is about to begin, and nobody feels ready, not physically, not emotionally, and definitely not mentally. They've lost more than points at this stage. They've lost pieces of themselves. They're staring across the table at people they thought were friends, people they once trusted. And now, they see strangers, dangerous, manipulative, wounded strangers. And in the middle of it all, standing like the calm eye in a hurricane, is Yuuichi Katagiri. He's no longer just a participant. He's the one driving the chaos. A chilling voice crackles from the overhead speaker. It's robotic, emotionless, but somehow, it still manages to carry a threatening edge. The final round of the Friendship Guild trip game is now underway. Please prepare for the main player selection. And just like that, the buzzer sounds. It's loud, sharper than before. And then the screen lights up. Cold and definitive. Main player, Yutori Kikuchi. The room goes quiet for a moment. Nobody speaks. Nobody moves. Even Yuichi's smirk flickers just slightly. Because Yutori, she's the quiet one, the fragile one, the kind one. And now, she's in the spotlight where every single crack in her heart is about to be exposed. Yutori steps forward slowly, almost like she's walking into an execution chamber. Her hands are trembling. Her eyes don't rise to meet anyone's, but her lips press together, and she forces herself to sit. The screen shifts again. The question appears in bold, merciless text. Have you ever betrayed one of your friends for your own benefit? Shio gasps softly. Makoto leans forward, suddenly pale. And Yuichi, he's watching intently, like he already knows the answer. Victoria's breathing is shallow. She tries to steady herself, but it's no use. Everyone can see her crumbling in real time. I didn't mean to, she whispers, voice barely audible. I didn't know it would get this far. Her hands are shaking so violently now. It's almost painful to watch. Yes, she says finally, voice cracking like broken glass. I did betray someone. I betrayed Shio. Shio's face turns ghost white. What? She whispers. What do you mean you betrayed me? Yutori's eyes flood with tears. Her whole body is collapsing in on itself. But the truth is out. It can't be taken back. I told someone something about you. I thought it was harmless. I didn't know it would be used in the game. I swear I didn't know. The room is quiet, but it's the dangerous kind of quiet, the kind that comes right before something breaks. Makoto doesn't know where to look. Tenji is stone-faced, eyes narrowed. And Shio, she looks like she's been stabbed. I trusted you, she whispers. You were the one person I thought had my back no matter what. But Yutori is too far gone now. She's sobbing, curled up, begging for forgiveness no one is ready to give, and still watching silently. Emotionless as Yuichi, the speaker buzzes again, cutting through the tension like a knife. Answer locked. Penalty applied. The group's point. Total drops. But it's not about the game anymore. It's about the damage that can't be measured. Makoto slams his fist against the wall in frustration. This game is destroying us. How the hell are we supposed to go back after this? Tenji finally speaks. Calm but hollow. We're not supposed to go back. That's the point. This game is designed to show us that friendship is a lie. And Yuichi, he just stands up, steps slowly toward the center of the room. You all thought I was the dangerous one, he says, voice calm, eerily calm. But it turns out, you're all capable of betrayal. Every single one of you. He looks at Yutori, who's still shaking. He looks at Shio, eyes filled with rage and heartbreak. And then he looks at the camera, at us, the viewers. Friendship is nothing but a currency, he says. And most of you, you spend it too easily. The final blow of the voice returns again, announcing the final scores. Only one name rises above the rest. Top player, Yuuichi Katagiri. Of course, everyone else is left in the dust, emotionally wrecked, mentally drained, torn apart from the inside out. And Yuuichi, He doesn't celebrate. He doesn't boast. He just turns around, expression unreadable. This game was never about winning, he says quietly. It was about seeing who people become when everything else is stripped away. Then the lights flicker. A door unlocks with a loud clink. Game to complete. Prepare for the next phase. The door opens. The light spills in, but no one moves. They're too broken, too afraid, too unsure of who they are anymore, except Yuuichi. He walks through the door alone, like he always knew he would. Chapter 14. The next trap is already set. The door creaks shut behind Yuuichi, and with it, the second game ends not with cheers or relief, but with silence. The kind of silence that's more terrifying than any scream. Behind him, the group he once called his friends is broken, not physically but mentally, emotionally, maybe even permanently. Trust has been shattered, secrets have been weaponized, and worst of all, they let it happen. And Yuuichi, he didn't just survive the friendship guilt trip game. He controlled it as the remaining four stumble into the sterile debriefing chamber. Everything feels off. No music, no announcements, just cold white lights and tension thick enough to choke on. Yuuichi sits calmly at one end of the table, arms folded. He doesn't look smug. He doesn't gloat. But somehow, that makes it worse. Tenji enters next, eyes scanning every corner of the room like he's expecting a trap behind each wall. His face is pale, tight, unreadable. Then comes Makoto's shoulders stiff, rage still simmering just under the surface. Shio walks in silently. She's not crying anymore. That part of her is gone now. What's left is colder, hardened. She doesn't look at Yutori. And finally Yutori. Her eyes are swollen, her movements timid, her guilt so loud it fills the space between every breath. Sit down, the voice says from the overhead speaker. Game has concluded. Scores are locked. Relationships have been evaluated. It's the pause before the last word that sets everyone on edge. The screen flickers on, displaying a strange diagram. It shows colored lines between each of the 5 players thick, tangled webs labeled trust, resentment, loyalty, and fear. It's like someone ripped the emotions out of their hearts and turned them into data. Makoto stares in horror. They've been tracking how we feel about each other. The voice responds flat, unemotional. Of course. That's the point of Tomodachi Game. Emotional currency determines the strength of your alliance or your downfall. Shio clenches her jaw, so we were lab rats from the start. But Yuuichi doesn't flinch. Speak for yourselves. He says softly, I knew this wasn't about the money the second they locked the first door. Suddenly, the screen glitches, flickering rapidly before displaying 5 new words in bold. Red type, Tomodachi Game, Stage 3. Friendly high dance seat. Everyone leans forward. What kind of name is that? Yutori whispers. The speaker crackles again. In this game, one of you will be designated the hider, the others the seekers. If the hider remains hidden for 72 hours, they win. If the seekers find them, the group clears the stage. However, failing to cooperate will result in point penalties, physical confinement, and permanent group fracture. Everyone goes still. Permanent group fracture, Makoto repeats. What does that even mean? Yuichi's eyes narrow. It means someone's not coming back. Before they can even process the rules, the lights in the room dim. Another door opens automatically behind them. A single note sits on a pedestal just outside. Yuichi walks over, picks it up, and reads aloud. The hider has already been chosen. They may begin planning. Now, everyone looks at each other, paranoid, suspicious. The game hasn't even started, but the distrust has. It's one of us, Shio mutters. One of us already knows. Tenji crosses his arms, trying to stay calm. It could be Yuichi again. He's too calm. Yuichi smirks. Or maybe I'm calm because I know. It's not me. Makoto turns toward Yutori. Why are you so quiet again? You hiding something else? Yutori's lip trembles, but she says nothing. And just like that, the group fractures again, faster this time. More violently. Because now, there's no traitor to expose. There's only suspicion and it's spreading like wildfire inside. Yuuichi is thinking one thing. This game isn't about hiding. It's about watching how quickly people fall apart when there's no villain left to point fingers at. He's not just observing now, he's planning, testing, setting his next trap with surgical precision. Because while the others panic, while they second guess, while they cling to what little trust they have left, Yuuichi is moving in silence. He already knows that in a game of hide and seek, the real power isn't in running. It's in controlling where everyone else looks. The group is led to a massive facility, part maze, part dormitory, part surveillance chamber. They're told they'll live here for the next 3 days. Somewhere inside, the hider will vanish. The seekers must work together or tear each other apart trying. Let the friendly hide and seek game begin. And with that, the countdown starts. 72 hours, 1 hider for fractured players. And a storm of lies, doubt, and strategy just waiting to explode, fade to black. Chapter 15. Where the hell is the truth? The doors to the facility slammed shut behind them with a steel-clad finality. No more turning back, no outside help, no way out, just 5 former friends. Now suspects. The rules have been set. The game has begun. And somewhere in this sprawling maze of white corridors and surveillance cameras, one of them is the hider. One of them is lying. But the game isn't just about hiding. It's about watching your friends lose their minds trying to find you. The building is colder than it looks, too clean, too empty. Like a hospital that has never been used, but was designed to make you feel uncomfortable the second you walked in. Each player is assigned a private room, stocked with only the essentials: bed, food, and a monitor that flashes one haunting message. Trust is your only weapon. Use it wisely. Makoto reads it and scoffs. Trust. We don't even have that anymore. Yutori sits on the edge of her bed, knees pulled to her chest, eyes scanning every corner of the room. She's scared not just of the hider, but of herself, of what she might do if she keeps getting pushed. Shio stares at her monitor without blinking. Her mind is stuck in a loop. The betrayal, the confession, the silence after. And Tenji, he's pacing, already dissecting the game, hunting for angles, patterns, loopholes, anything to keep his mind off what's really happening. But Yuuichi, he's calm, too calm, lying on his bed like he's on vacation, arms behind his head, smirking. Let's see how long they last. It doesn't take long for the tension to kick in. Day 1 barely begins before the paranoia bubbles to the surface. At the first group meeting, Makoto slams his fist down on the table. Let's just call it like it is. One of us is the hider. Let's start accusing and narrow it down. Yutori flinches. Shio frowns. Tenji grins. Yuuichi smiles. Sounds productive. Makoto. Let's all shout random names until someone cries. Makoto scowls. You got a better idea. Yeah. Yuuichi says casually. Let's just watch who gets nervous the fastest. And sure enough, all eyes land on Yutori. Her breath hitches. Her voice is soft. I'm not the hider. But in a game like this, denying it just makes you look more guilty. That night, while the others are sleeping or at least pretending to, Tenji is already working. He's drawing a map, tracking where each room is located, mapping escape routes, noting cameras, blind spots, even the schedule of when meals are delivered. This isn't just hide and seek. He mutters to himself. This is war. He remembers what happened in the last game, how he tried to manipulate things, and how Yuuichi turned the tables on him. He can't let that happen again, not this time. While Tenji is plotting and Makoto is barking accusations, Yuuichi is moving subtly. He's planting seeds. He corners Shio in the hallway, tone low, voice careful. You trust Makoto, right? She hesitates. I think so. Because he's been a little too aggressive today. Like he's trying to create chaos. Why would he do that? Maybe to keep our eyes off him. If he's the hider. Shio doesn't answer, but Yuuichi knows the doubt is planted. Later, he visits Makoto. Hey, you think Tenji's being quiet on purpose? What? Think about it. He's not making any moves. Not raising suspicions. Almost like he wants us to focus on Yutori. and ignore him. Makoto frowns. So you're saying he's the hider now? I'm saying we need to watch everyone. Just like that, the suspicion starts spinning out of control. Nobody trusts anyone anymore. And that's exactly how Yuuichi likes it. By the end of day 2, the group has reached its breaking point. Shio and Makoto are barely speaking. Yutori stays in her room, only emerging when she absolutely has to. The look in her eyes. It's not fear anymore. It's survival mode. Tenji starts questioning the rules, overthinking everything, wondering if the game is rigged, if they're even meant to win. And Yuuichi, he's been watching the whole time. Every crack, every whisper, every move. Then, on the final night, just as everyone's beginning to collapse under the weight of their own doubt, he makes his move. He calls an emergency meeting. Everyone shows up, groggy, tense, exhausted. I figured it out, he says, calmly. They all stare at him. The hider. I know who it is. Shio leans forward. Then say it. Not yet, Yuuichi says. Let's make this fun. He opens a drawer and pulls out 5 cards. On the back of each, a name. One of these has the hider's name. The rest are blank. He tosses the cards face down on the table. Everyone pick one. This is a joke, Tenji mutters. No, Yuuichi says with a grin. This is the game each player reaches out, hesitating. They flip the cards. Makoto, blank. Shio, blank. Yutori, blank. Tenji, blank. All eyes turn to Yuuichi. He flips his card and reveals the name, Tenji Mikasa. Looks like I win, Yuuichi says. Tenji's face twists not with surprise, but with something more dangerous. A grin. You think you're smart, he says. No, Yuuichi replies. I think I'm winning. The lights flicker again. The voice from the speaker booms across the room. 1 are remaining. Final actions must be taken now. And just like that, it's chaos again. Because the game isn't over. And the real trap, it hasn't even been sprung yet. Fade to black.